Gerald George Spink is turning 70 years old. Oh my God. Most of his friends were betting he'd never make it that long. For those of you whom I haven't met, my name is Marty Prunty, and Jerry and I have been friends since I was a junior at Rosary High School. So that means that we have been friends for about 54 years. Can you believe it? That's remarkable. What also is remarkable is that I've known Terry Spink for that long too. Uh, So both Jerry and Terry are two of my favorite people in the world. I spent some time thinking about what I was going to say in this video. At first, I thought, well, I'll make it some sort of a Jerry Spink roast. Boy, would that have been easy. God knows there would have been an endless stream of information, of material to use, but I decided against it. That's because when I think of Jerry, I immediately think of him as a great friend. Not a good friend, a great friend. So, what does it mean to be a great friend? Well, there are some criteria that I feel like must be met. One is you have to have humor in your friendship. Um, you must have a sense of humor that allows you to give and take. Uh, Here's an example. As most of you know, when boys in high school shower or have phys ed, they shower afterwards. And so in this particular case, I'm new to the school and new to phys ed and all that. And so I took a shower and I came out, and as I normally did, I put my socks on first. Now, doesn't everybody do that? Jerry would be rolling on the ground laughing about it. He puts his socks on first. Well, I did. Guilty as charged. But I did find a way to get even. So the girls had phys ed right after we did. So as Jerry was in showering, I managed to get all of his clothes and took them outside and put them down at the end of this ramp in full view of all the girls. And to watch Jerry wrapping himself in towels and stealthily crawling down this ramp to get his clothes back, that was pretty much worth it. It's important to be able to laugh at each other, laugh with each other, and not at each other. Great friends know how to do that. I think accountability is another quality of great friendships. So, great friends hold each other accountable. So my family had a now infamous 1968 Volkswagen Beetle that they had for us to drive. And boy, drive it we did. On one afternoon, Jerry and I were driving in the vicinity of Jim Russell's house, and I decided to put on a driving exhibition for him. The Volkswagen was four on the floor, so I'm driving like crazy and making turns, sharp cornering turns, and just, man, Andy Granatelli, here I was. And we got to Jim's driveway, and I stopped, and Jerry looked at me and he goes, "Don't you ever do that again. That was stupid. What are you, a maniac?" He read me the riot act. I never did it again. He held me accountable. Anger is another thing that is typical in friendships. It just happens. And so it didn't happen very often, but there was one evening that we were all going to go, the gang, Joe Rupp, Jim Russell, Otis Mohan, Ed Clunan, who was not part of our normal group, but he was there. Jerry and I were going to go camping. And so along the way, Jerry and I got mad at each other. And he had ridden with me, and so he said, "Take me home." And I said something profound like, "Gladly." And so we took him home. I took him home and then went home myself, and that was the end of it. And then the next morning we found out that the rest of the gang got jumped by some street thugs and got beat up. So Jerry did me a favor when he got angry with me, and we didn't hold a grudge for very long. We just, it was over with as fast as it happened. Love is an emotion that most guys um, don't necessarily feel for each other or feel routinely, especially as it relates to other guys. So if they did, they probably didn't admit it. In August of 1974, I had taken a job that required me to move to Detroit. I was cleaning out my apartment and getting ready to take the long ride to Detroit when the phone rang, and it was Jerry. He wanted to stop by and say his goodbyes. So he came by. After we talked for a while, Jerry came over, put his arm around me, and said, "I'm going to miss you, and I love you." Just blew me away. I responded, "I love you too." Great friends aren't afraid to show their feelings for one another. Jerry's life has been the envy of most people. I mean, talk about the Cinderella kid. He's had a hugely successful career as a chemical engineer kind of person. He's had a wonderful marriage, 3 beautiful daughters, 10 beautiful grandkids. And he also has had some really cool friends, if I might say so. I'm really proud to call him my friend. Gerald George Spink, man of men, happy 70th birthday. I love you, my friend. You take care. Bye-bye.